most happening or the transformational project which all of us in Hyderabad are looking forward quite eagerly. I thought we will slightly break away from your technology-centric or intensive discussions and just get on to see what we are likely to come up in the next few years to help transform Hyderabad into a major global destination for IT. L&T's association with the IT industry dates back quite few years back. We started with the high-tech city in Hyderabad, which actually catapulted Hyderabad into a major IT landmark city way back sometime in mid-90s. And then we've continued our association with the state of Andhra Pradesh by doing similar developments. The first IT project probably in Vizag, and then we've also developed an IT special economic zone in Vijayawada. So we actually understand the requirements of the IT industry quite well. And L&T as a construction agency also has delivered a lot of large campus developments for various IT companies. So I just wanted to, I won't take much of a time. I know we are actually getting delayed for lunch, but I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. If you look at the Hyderabad Metro Rail project, it is the largest project in the world being executed in the public-private partnership format. So there have been projects which are done in India, like the Delhi Metro or the Bangalore Metro. But all of those are government projects where all the funding has come from the government. This is a public-private partnership project where it's being done on a concession which is design, build, finance, operate and transfer with the government of Andhra Pradesh for a period of 35 years initially and then extendable by another 25 years. So L&T practically will be running the metro post the development in about 5 years for a residual period of possibly about 55 years. And we have actually 3 corridors people from Hyderabad might be able to figure out. We have one line running from Miapur going up to LB Nagar. The second line actually starts from the Jubilee bus station near the Secunderabad station going right up to the Falaknuma Palace. And the third line actually caters to the western suburb, which is predominantly the IT hub, starting from about Shilparam or Raidur, and going right up to the eastern hub where again IT is developing fast, place called Uppal. So these 3 corridors actually cover a sizable part of the core city as also the upcoming major suburbs, the western and the eastern suburbs, with interchanges at 3 locations. At Amirpet, MG bus station and parade grounds being the interchange where people can cross over between lines. We have a stage-wise commissioning. The first stage of this metro project will be operational for public by Ugadi next year, which is March 21st, 2015. And then on, we do a stage-wise commissioning of the balance stages with about 6 months gap between each of those stages. And all of this will get commissioned fully by about 2017. So this is about 72 kilometers of elevated metro rail, which will all get commissioned by January of 2017. That is the part of the metro, which is predominantly the transportation comfort for the citizens of Hyderabad. Along with that, we also have a sizable amount of transit-oriented development, which actually is one of the cross-subsidy for keeping the passenger fares within the reach of the common public. So this transit-oriented development is based on the international concept of actually densifying the corridors where you have a large fast commutational avenue. And Hyderabad is moving towards with the government actually working on certain set of legislations which will encourage this sort of transit orientation. Because unless that is done, the urbanization can't really happen. And whatever amount of road widening or flyovers are built, that won't really take care of the transportation needs of a growing city. So the shift to a public transportation system, and I think a lot of examples are there where people make an easy modal shift into a public transportation mode, provided there's reliability, there's convenience, and the last mile connectivity which are available. Even if we, I think, do a mapping of the people traveling to high-tech city today, a sizable amount of workforce starts commuting or commutes by the MMTS train system. Though, of course, last mile is still a problem in MMTS, but the metro takes care of that last mile connectivity. So this is actually the brief on the transit orientation. Why transit orientation? And we are actually trying to promote this through the TOD development. In terms of the advantages it offers to the various users, of course, for the commuters, ease of access, secured quality travel, and it's an assured public transportation system. In the sense, we promise a frequency of trains within every 3 minutes in the peak hours. So you actually can plan your schedule, and the travel time also is fixed. So your uncertainty on travel is eliminated. For businesses, of course, they'll have their employee logins on time. Plus, you can actually encourage people to use the public transportation system, which reduces sizable amount of cost of operations, especially on the transportation of employees from the home to the office. Of course, it also encourages lesser use of private transport and thereby lesser parking requirements. For the society, of course, it actually generates a lot of economic activity with densification along the metro corridor and a lot of business getting established there. Decongestion and increased environment friendliness are these other advantages. Like I said, we have a potential to develop about 18.5 million square feet. These are parcels I will show in the subsequent slides across the city in different locations. And this will be done over a phased manner depending on the market absorption. While the metro will get commissioned in 5 years, the transit-oriented development doesn't have a time frame stipulation. It can be done in sync with the market requirements and how the market shapes up.